Good evening, everybody. How are we doing? Hope you all had a good weekend and a good Monday. I myself definitely had a good weekend. This weekend was the Syracuse area op till you drop. And had a blast doing that for sure. Operated on 3 awesome layouts. Dave Martini's CSX layout, and then Drew James's CS&P layout, and then Dick Hayer's Boston and Albany. All 3 awesome layouts. Had an absolute blast. Hey Scott, how are you doing? Glad you're here. Just trying to pull up some reference photos for what we're going to be working on tonight. Let people trickle in here. And then we'll get started. Got a little bit of stuff to unbox here, as you can see here in front of you. Let's see. Downloads. There we go. Okay, hey Tim, welcome in. Glad to have you, my friend. All right, so got a lot of stuff to work on tonight. Unfortunately, I didn't stream last weekend, and I also really got very minimal time at the workbench last week, so not a lot has gone on, and therefore still got a lot to do, that's for sure. So we'll start off things, as has become tradition, which is by unboxing, and then I'll explain what's in the box, because it takes explaining. We've got more SD70M trucks. Yay. They're not for the SD70M flared anymore. These are actually for the video project that I'm working on, which is here partially assembled in front of me. There's 2 reasons why I got these trucks. The first is that the trucks that are on it are actually not accurate. The trucks, per the prototype photos, are very similar to these HTCR-4 trucks. So we're going to go ahead and swap them out. The second reason is that this pre-owned locomotive, which was advertised to me as new in the box, new old stock, I should say, as I looked closer at it, I discovered that there's a whole bunch of cat hair and all this other stuff kind of gummed up in both trucks. So, hey John, welcome in. Glad to have you, my friend. Yeah, with that in mind, I took the rear truck off to try to clean it, and as I was trying to get the bottom off, it broke. So the bottom part of that rear truck completely snapped on me, And it's at that point that I just decided, you know what? I think rather than trying to make it work with these trucks that aren't accurate, I'm just going to go ahead and order the right trucks for the prototype and throw those on. This whole video is supposed to be about if it's worth it to update a old run Athearn Genesis to new run specifications. And I guess, you know, you could kind of argue part of it is making sure that everything's as accurate as it can, because these days you're getting road number accurate detail on a lot of these locomotives. So these trucks are going to be an added cost to that bottom line, and you'll have to watch the video or just to, you know, figure out if it's really actually worth it or not to update these older run locomotives. But anyway, the first thing we're going to do tonight is just kind of get these trucks installed. That way that's done and out of the way. I will also let you know that unfortunately I blew the decoder in this thing as well. So that's on its way back to ESU, and as soon as I get these trucks in, I'm going to do some further testing to find out whether or not this motor is bad. It is an older motor, and there's a chance that the motor is bad. I just need to hook it up to DC power and see if it jitters or if it's a smooth runner or not, and then we'll know for sure. The biggest challenge really is that I don't have a DC power supply anymore. I don't ever remember getting rid of my old Bachmann one, but nonetheless, it's not here. So, oh, that's interesting. And by that, I mean slightly annoying. So this one's got the leads on it. This one doesn't for some reason. So I guess we're putting leads on this truck. Hey, Ray, welcome into the stream. I'm doing well. Hope you are yourself. Just talk briefly about the ops till you drop. Had a blast out there. Had a blast seeing you for a little bit there, even though it was freezing. But yeah, lots of fun this weekend. Really renewed my motivation to get back to the workbench and get back to modeling in general, that's for sure. So, glad to be home, glad to be at the workbench. You've got one of these SD70Ms, Tim? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, Ray, you came from a bit longer of a distance than me, so I'm sure you're, you know, a little tired. Wouldn't blame you one bit, that's for sure. Alright, here's our dog bone. Do I need to take this? Yeah. Remove the speaker here. Yeah, so I had hoped to have a video out on this whole project as of last week. And of course, blowing the decoder and then having the issue with these trucks really set that project back, which is a bummer because I haven't had a regular video out on the channel. And I think it'll be a month this Friday. So I don't know if I'm going to have time to film a video or not this week. If I do, it'll be out on Friday, but at this point, I have no idea whether or not there will be. For the time being, we'll enjoy some Talkin trains here on a nice Monday night. Okay. Thankfully, and this is a big saving grace, Athearn has not really changed their tooling for these very much. So these are like brand new and still fit this 2001 era locomotive, which is quite lucky. Yeah, that'd be cool, Ray, to come out Friday and rail fan for sure. Hopefully next year we'll get some better weather the first 2 days. It was great on Sunday. Not that it mattered too much, but... Alright, so this back truck is good to pop in. Is that secured in all the way? I think so. They sit at a very strange angle for some reason. I mean, this is the stock one for the locomotive, and you can see it's, you know, really. You would think it sits, you know, flush, but it doesn't for some reason. So, okay, so this back one's in. Gotta pop the front one off, and then actually I'm gonna scavenge the wires off of this truck, since the other one I bought for some reason didn't come with them. I'm baffled as to why. But thankfully, despite everything else in this locomotive being bad for some reason, the wires still are good. Alright, let me get these wires managed a little bit, and then I'll get the speaker back on so that it's not dangling. Those are good. Speaker wires out of the way. Cool. Okay, let's pop these wires off. Oh, Dennis, you missed the beginning of the stream, my friend. You see, your old pal Paul here, he broke the rear truck that was on the SD70M, but that was only part of the story. So the trucks that are on this from the factory are not actually accurate for the prototype. This is what's on it from the factory, and this is the accurate truck per the prototype. You can see that there's a couple of big differences in the way that the shocks are kind of mounted and those sorts of things. At first, it wasn't a big enough deal for me to bother doing anything about, but as I got into the decoder install process and you know, took a closer look at the locomotive, I noticed that these stock trucks are actually gummed up with a whole bunch of cat hair, which is annoying. It means that whoever owned this locomotive prior to me probably ran it on a carpet. With pets in the home, and you know, I love my pets, but you know, it's a risky run when you run locomotives like that. And even though it was advertised as new old stock, it's evident that it was not new old stock. So I went and tried to open up the back truck, the back truck on the locomotive. Just to try to clean it out. I was going to put all the gears in some warm soapy water and try to get all the cat hair off of it. And when I did that, because it is an older locomotive, I snapped the bottom of the housing. So that was the end of that, and I decided, you know what, because of the situation we're in where, you know, the goal of this locomotive is to update it to be as close to a brand new release as possible, I decided to go ahead and just buy the right trucks for the locomotive so that they're accurate, and of course replace the broken one. So that's where we're at now, is we're putting on the new accurate and not broken trucks. The unfortunate thing is that I did blow the decoder when I was trying to install it. As I was trying to diagnose what the problem was, I'm fairly certain it's a bad motor, actually, because it's such an old motor. but I didn't get the chance to actually put my voltmeter on the motor to see how much amperage it was drawing before the decoder blew. So I'm not sure. I do need to, at some point, get this on a DC power pack just to see if the motor's gonna jiggle a bunch or not. And then I'll know for sure whether it's the motor and I need to replace that. But I was looking all over before the stream started tonight, and I don't have my old Bachmann DC power pack anymore, which I'm baffled about because I have no recollection of throwing that away. But it's nowhere to be found. So I'm gonna have to figure out another power pack before I can test the motor. You know, for the time being, we'll make do with what we got. We'll make as much progress as we can. Because this is not part of the main video sequence, thankfully it's a little bit of work that I can get done on stream with you guys, putting in these trucks and everything. So the next step here, like I'm mentioning, is going to be to solder these motor leads, or excuse me, these truck leads onto the truck itself, and then we'll get the truck installed, and then we're going to move on to another project. The other project we're going to work on tonight is the new Finger Lakes 2310. I'm going to do a little bit of decal work on that tonight, I think, so should be fun. Just going to get a little bit of flux on these leads. It's interesting too, I think, as I'm looking at things, the other thing that changed from back then to now is that they went from copper side frames in there for electrical pickup to brass. So I don't know if that's a cost-saving measure or if this brass is supposed to pick up power any better. But it's an interesting observation nonetheless, for sure. Also got a little bit of ditch light work to do tonight for 2310 as well that we're going to try to get done. Time permitting, of course, which I think we should. This little process shouldn't take super long. And then we can go from there. Okay. Soldering iron's all heated up. But yeah, the ops weekend this past weekend really recharged my batteries as far as model railroading's concerned. Which is interesting going into the summer months because that's usually when I try to pivot out of model railroading into the summer hobbies, which, you know, are going to take up more of my time, of course, but still going to try to make as much time as I can for Talkin' Trains live streams. The challenge is going to be that I don't think from here on out I can guarantee that I'll be here every Monday for the summer, but I'm going to try to make as many Mondays as I can. I will promise you that for sure. Okay, there's that one. Solder smoke, Okay, done with the soldering iron for that job. So let's get this truck in. Yeah, what I'll probably do is I'll probably go on eBay tonight and see if I can pick up a, you know, just cheap DC power pack just to have on hand going forward. Oh, shoot. One of the little brass squares just flew right off of this. Well, I think I've got a spare somewhere. Let's see. Yes. got no idea where that just went, so. See if we can get away with using an old one here. I don't think these have changed. Yeah. Oh, interesting. It is a little bit thicker, I wonder. That might be a problem. Let's see. Let's see if I'm going to go digging on the ground or if this is going to fit. I might be going digging on the ground. Oh, nope. Okay, we're good. Woohoo! So I guess that's the trick to losing things on the ground. Just have backups so you don't have to bother. Hey Joey, welcome in. Awesome. Glad those photos are gonna work for you, and looking forward to the results for sure. Here I am joking about not needing to bother to look for that dropped part, and I'm still looking anyway. Won't spend too much time doing it. All right, so that is, I mean, that's really all I had to do for this SD70M project tonight. You know, it is nice that there's a little bit more added detail as far as like the brake lines and stuff are concerned on these newer trucks. So it really is genuinely going to make the project look a little bit nicer as far as that's concerned. So that's nice. Oh, that's cool, Dennis, that you're doing a Blue Nami install. Those are really interesting decoders, for sure. Oh, you should have told me what you needed measured, Joey. I guess I probably should have asked. I could have probably gotten those. Dang. Okay, so we are done with the SD70M project. Let me just clear all that stuff out of the way. Looks like I might have bumped the camera at some point because it's all crooked. All right. Okay. I do want to show you guys one really cool thing that I just picked up. I got a nice Genesee, Wyoming transportation sticker. This is the freelance that I've, been talking about. I ordered a couple of pieces of merch with the logo on it and stuff that I thought would be fun to be able to wear to Fremo meets and stuff like that. Got a hat with the logo on it as well, which unfortunately came all creased up, so I had to request a replacement for it. I just packed it in a box that was too small, basically, so it ended up all creased. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the 2310 project. We got some decal work, to do, and then we've also got some work to do to prep the ditch light housings. The ditch light housings have their initial coat of paint on them, and then I just am gonna go in today. These ones need to be drilled out because there's, we got to get the back all set. And then I'm going to go in with the layer of interior silver paint, which I like to do on all my plastic / resin housings, just to, help with the light bleed issue. It is a long and tedious process to get these prepped so that there's minimal light bleed. And so it takes me a couple of days at minimum to do for sure. But yeah, so let's start with prepping the ditch lights here, just because that's going to take a while to dry, and I like to do the stuff that takes the longest first. Hey Jeff, welcome in. Glad to have you. I'm going to try to lean this back this way a little bit. Just know I have a tendency to work on things close to me and they end up out of the frame. Trying to avoid that for you guys. Okay, so we've got our paint here. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I need to stick these on something where they're going to stay stable while I do this. I got this old paintbrush that I use sometimes for things like this. Yeah, that'll work. Let me see if I can go to super zoomed in mode. We do love light bleed, Brandon. That's for sure. All right. Just as much as I like light bleed as much as you like SD60Es. Okay. So let's get these started here. I'm just taking a fine-tipped paintbrush, and again, just doing an interior layer of silver on the back side of the housing. And this is hopefully just going to help with the light bleed challenges a little bit. Okay. Got the back side done. I just need to flip it over now safely and do the inside. And then I'll set them off to the side to dry. This is where things get really challenging. So I want to do the interior. Hopefully you guys can somewhat see this at least. Perfect. Okay, so we're good there on that one at least. Let's pop this one on. That was a little too much paint on the brush. Again, I mean, this stuff seems tedious, and in some aspects it genuinely is. But this is how you get the best results out of these ditch lights. Busy making a mess of your layout. Oh man, Jeff. I'm gonna have to touch that one up again with the blue paint a little bit, it looks like, but okay, so those two are done. Happy with those. Now these two I've got to drill out first before I do anything else, which means I need my pin vise right here. Ooh, left a really big bit in there. Let's see. I need to order more bits. I don't know if anybody else is like me, but you know, I get the cheap bits off eBay or Amazon or wherever you get them, and I tend to break the smallest ones first as I'm doing stuff like grab irons and that sort of thing, and then I progressively just get to a bigger and bigger bit. And finally I get to such a big bit that I can't do grab irons with them without it looking like garbage, and that's usually when I bite the bullet and buy a new set of bits. I understand that, Tim. Yeah, it can be tough to be tempted like that, right? The good news is there's always the unsubscribe button on those emails, so hopefully you can find it. Oh, where is my airbrush? I was singing that last stream, but thankfully I got all those parts ordered and in, and as you can see, of course, this is what we were working on. The masking for the patches is done, so glad to have gotten all those parts in and able to do that. And honestly, there were some parts that I needed to buy that I hadn't, and I was kind of putting off, and my airbrush performance was suffering because of it. So I'm glad I ordered them. Everything's like new on the airbrush now, which is great. All right, so that should work. Oh, just like the T-square, huh, Dennis? Good news, I haven't lost that yet. It's still right where I lost it the first time. Right and under my nose. Okay, so those are all drilled out. I'm just gonna, like I said, do the interior of the housing with some silver paint. These ones are still on the spruce, so I don't know if I want to do the back. I should probably do the back, yeah. Hopefully you guys can see me. Again, this is just a nice fine-tipped brush. Just slowly working it out. I want to get just the edges of the housing itself, just to get a nice silver look, just like you would on the prototype. And then I want the interior as well. Again, this is a layer to prevent light bleed and also get a nice warm reflecting light out of the housing as well. Similar to the kind of mirrored lenses that you'll see on the prototype equipment. If you just leave these the color of the housing themselves, most of the time that means black, but in this case blue, you're gonna get a color out of it that is not warm white, and that's the color we want. Those ones turned out incredibly well. I'm really happy with how that looks for the edges. Oh, yeah, I guess you guys can see that okay. Really happy with that. So, okay, I just need to get these off the sprue now very carefully. I am a little bit nervous because these are really, really old housings that I did not, well, I mean, I did prime them, but, you know, I had them in my possession for a really long time before I did that, and resin does not enjoy sitting uncured, or doesn't enjoy sitting on, oh, what's the word I'm looking for here? Oh boy, that just went flying. Uh-oh. But yeah, it does not like sitting unprocessed, I guess is what I'm looking for. And it sat like that for a really long time in one of my parts drawers. Just give me a second to find this. Sorry, everybody. Oh, where is my ditch light? I watched it bounce the first time, and then I lost track of it. Oh boy. Yeah, it is. Oh boy. Well, I don't want to keep you guys bored over here. Yeah, it is stuck in my head for the rest of the night, Dennis. Thanks. Just like the airbrush was last time. Just like the T-square was. You know, I can't get through one of these streams apparently without having something nag at my psyche. Oh well, I guess. Alright, I just gotta clean this brush real quick and then we'll pivot to the next thing. And then I'll look for the lens after the stream. Alright, hang on. Okay. Okay, that's all cleaned up. Let's do something fun. Actually, I lied. What I need to do is prep the lenses quickly. I've got one prepped already. And then I just need to do the other 3. Which hopefully I've got enough lenses for. I've got 2 out here with me. Grab my LEDs here. Let's see, I just need to find one more lens here. This is, as I say just about every time I work on these things, this is the one thing I really wish they could figure out how to include in these housing kits, the plastic ones, is some lenses, because now I'm just scavenging for Decals West lenses in the rest of my parts here, which I don't love having to do, quite frankly. Especially because there's a very real possibility I actually don't have enough lenses. Which would be a bummer. Okay, well, we'll make do with what we got for now. I actually honestly have to check to make sure that the housings I was going to use on the rear of this thing are even the right ones to begin with. I know the ones that I'm using on the front are right, but I'm only just assuming that the ones on the rear are the ones that I've painted up. I may need to circle back and just verify that anyway. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise that one meant missing, because it was the rear set that went missing. Yep, Brandon, I do, similar things. I save all of the baggies that I get for different parts. And, just stash those away until I need them. So if you look at all my bins that are just to the right of me here, there's a whole bunch of them that are just filled, with a bunch of little detail parts. Alright, so let's get these done quickly. This is something I've done on stream about 1,000 times probably, so I won't spend too much time on it. Just getting our lenses glued to our LEDs here, that's all. Really simple, straightforward stuff. Dab of glue on the LED. Touch the LED to the lens. Hope you get it right. Lots of slide around on me today. Okay, that one's good, as long as it stays. Good. All right, do this one here. Awesome, Joey. Glad they're going to work for you. Hopefully you saw the extra ones I put in there in case you ever need them. You know, in case. I know you're a busy guy, but I figured, you know, I'd get those for you just so you have them, since you got the measurements for the one thing at least. For the one building there that you didn't measure, can't share too much on stream, but I'm hoping via my day job to be contacting Bruce with some good news for that at some point in the near future, but we'll see. It's kind of a shot in the dark, but had to take the shot, so we'll see. Yeah, I was watching the last few at bats of the Nationals for that game, Dennis. That was beautiful. Brandon Nimmo with 9 RBIs in a single game is insane. So awesome. Okay, so we're good on that. Let me get the decals out here, and we are gonna get the decals on the cab. And then after that, I've got some masking that I want to get done for some painting projects. One of which is going to be the custom painted freelance logo. And then I believe when I looked at the reference photos, there was some very strange primer spots on 2310. So I want to get the chassis, or not the chassis, this part of the shell masked off to replicate the primer properly as well. But first things first, I've got to find the decal set I want here. I know what's in here somewhere. There they are, I think. Nope, those are GNBC Gone decals. Ooh. Got a whole Ziploc bag full of decals here that I'm rummaging through trying to find the right ones. Come on, where are you? I think it was a smaller set, so it might have fallen. down in here a little bit, maybe, hopefully. Come on, show yourselves. Holy macaroni. Where are these things hiding? They're not actually in here hiding, are they? Let me double check. Yeah, these are just GMBC Gons. Boy. Trying to remember where I had these last. Oh gosh, Joey, yeah, I thought I got rid of all those. Yeah, I accidentally lumped a couple of those in with that batch that I sent you. Yeah, I was out last week chasing. Oh, this has got to be it, right? Yes, okay. Whew, found them. Last week on Monday, I actually drove out to Ohio. That's why I didn't have the live stream last Monday. So I drove out to Ohio and was supposed to chase the ferry move of Nickelplate 765 all the way from Bellevue to why am I drawing a blank? All the way from Bellevue to Akron on the Wheeling and Lake Erie, because it was going to be running without a diesel helper at all. And then, of course, the on-duty time was not what we had anticipated, and they didn't even leave Fort Wayne on NS with the diesel leader until 0800 on Tuesday. So I ended up chasing it with the diesel leader from Fort Wayne to Bellevue, and then took them so long to just do that part of the line with maintenance away work and stuff like that, that I didn't have time to chase the portion on the Fort Wayne, or on the Wheeling and Lake Erie. So I had to go home, unfortunately. Okay, so these are the decals we're using. As you can see, they're pretty spot on for what's on there, which is pretty cool. I'm really appreciative of my buddy Jim Gibbs for getting these decals made up, because now that I am also doing the Santa Fe unit, which he's already done himself and done a fantastic job, I might add, it's really useful to just have these ready to go, because they're very unique decals for sure. Right, those in there. Put these back in the. All right, so that's all good. Let me check some prototype reference photos. Just see. Let's see. So it wasn't on this side that the primer was showing through, although apparently whenever this was, there was maybe some tree damage or something to the unit, which is interesting. I think Flickr had a good shot of the other side here. See, okay, there's the side I already have. Same thing again. Here we go. Okay, now I'm not seeing, so in one photo I saw there was like a primer spot right there. So let's see, when was this taken by Mr. Matt Martin? This is 2010, so it rolled around in Santa Fe paint for quite some time. Here we go. This is closer to my appearance. So this is 2013. You can see there's that big old splotch of primer on the locomotive there. So I'm gonna try to replicate that as best I can. We'll see. Let's see if I can find the other side of it though. Here we go. So this must have been like after they did initial paint prep, maybe, I'm guessing. And that's why that primer was on there. So there's another spot back there. It looks like maybe that's what that's supposed to be as well, but I'm not sure. And then, yeah, right there. Okay. So, yeah, I still have yet to find... Oh yeah, that was actually, that's the side I need. No, that's not the side I need. Where's the side I need? Here we go. So this is the only side I can find here. Okay, I'm gonna have to go to Railroad Picture Archives and see if they've got anything. Hopefully they load well today. Yep, definitely could have been that, Tim, for sure. They tend to draw out the paint prep process a lot on these things. So I'm guessing what it was is it went in at some point. Was that... well, I can get there from here. Oh, these stupid pop-ups. Yeah, the Finger Lakes tends to really draw out the process of getting these things painted. So I'm, oh man, that's it. That's all I've got. Bummer. Okay, well, let's get the decals done at least, because we can do that at bare minimum. Looks like that's pretty well located underneath the cab, directly under the cab. Oh, let me look at the ditch light situation. Oh, okay, interesting. So this actually doesn't have rear ditch lights, or at least it didn't when it got on property. So I guess I didn't need to worry about those after all. Jeez. Over-prepping and over-delivering, apparently. That's what I'm doing. All right, so let's get... yeah, we got the right side here. Slide these off. All right. I don't know, maybe that is, I think it might skew a little bit towards the left-hand side of this. How close up under, there's a little bit of space between where the paint starts, or the patched paint starts, and that. That's pretty good. I think I went a little bit too far right. Okay. Yes. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, let's do the other side here. Let me get that picture pulled back up. That one's pretty darn centered underneath the window, it looks like. Come on. I'm not gonna go finger to shell, apparently. Gotta get this involved. Hopefully that stayed okay. Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, like I said, just gonna try to kind of center this as best I can on this side. It's interesting, one thing I'm noticing is even though these decals, the patch out looks so cobbled together, they're consistent on the same side. Like the decals are still the same decals on both sides, even though they look cobbled together, which is strange. But I guess that makes it easy to model, that's for sure. Okay, so that's all good. I need to do the number board decals, so let me see if I can get those out. Hey Andy, glad you made it into the stream. Hope you're doing well. So, maybe now's a good time with hopefully Dennis and Andy in the chat, just to hint at a project that the two of us are working on with another creator. Well, and a few other creators, of course, who might already be aware, including Joey. But there's going to be a really cool collaborative project happening with a bunch of content creators that you should be on the lookout for. If you are a content creator yourself and would like to be involved in a really special project that's really for the good of the hobby itself, feel free to reach out to me directly, and I can give you more information on it before we go public with what the project is. But it's really genuinely going to be a really special project, I feel, for the good of the hobby itself. So I'm excited about it. The rest of the creators who are involved are really excited about it as well. And if you're interested, let me know. Okay, I'm looking for number board decals. Let's see. For shell scale sets is what I like to use for the number boards. And kind of smaller. Smaller like that. Actually, those numbers will work for it. Yep, Dennis you can reach out to Dennis for sure as well, without a doubt. We'll have some other recruiting material coming out in the next few days, I think. I got to talk with everybody and see what their thoughts are, but I've had some ideas that I need to run by them. But hopefully we'll have some more recruiting material coming out in the coming days for the project. Here we go. Found some number boards there. Just make sure I don't have any smaller. I think so. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so let's see what's going to work on this cab. All right. See, here's the real struggle is I don't know what size of these are really going to be best. It looks like it might be this one. I always misjudge, though. Just realized I was talking without that even in the frame. Sorry, guys. There we go. Now let's cross our fingers and hope those fit. So, I haven't even asked tonight. What's everybody else got on their workbenches? Be interested to know. See, that might not have been in there long enough. Oh, that's scary, Brandon. Yeah, my Fremo modules, I'm really, I painted myself into a corner doing 4 of these things, because now I've got to take my truck everywhere that I transport these things. And I've got a nice fuel-efficient car that I like to take long distances. But I guess I'll be using the truck for the Fremo events. All right, so let's see if we can get some of this stuff locked down with a little microsaw here. Oh man, what is that? I gotta scroll back and see what Dennis said here. Working on paint at the moment. Oh, great. Yeah, Dennis, I hate using anything acetone based for the most part. It's just a pain in the neck. It really is. So I feel ya for sure. Just shifted on me. There we go. These number boards are always a challenge to get to sit down in there. Oh, they're already so brittle that they're breaking apart. I may have to revisit this sometime after the stream. Come on, work your way down in there. Oh boy. If anybody knows of a good decal for B23s specifically, I am all ears, because I've had this struggle pretty much every B23 that I've done so far. Is trying to make decals that are not right for the B23 number boards work. Might just leave it for now. Ah, lost your ballast. Oh, that stinks, Andy. The locomotive we're working on now disassembled itself in the mail. I wonder if I could get away with just using... If I could take the light thing out, and... I might be able to, actually. And just painting those white. I might try that, actually. Wiggles right out of there. Okay. Yeah, I bet you I can get away with, because there's no headlight on the roof of this thing, I bet you I can get away with just painting those white. So I'll probably do that after the stream. And for now, with the initial coat of microsol on, we'll pivot to our next project. I'm actually just gonna decided I'm gonna do one more coat of microsol here. Okay. All right, I'm gonna set that off to the side. Put these decals away for now. All right, so the next thing we're working on, actually I'm gonna put gloves on real quick, is the GP30 project. We've got just a little bit of masking work to do to start the painting process on this thing. I don't know what you're talking about, John. I don't think there's any way I could have enough B-23s. They're the best locomotive there ever was. That's interesting that you're able to make a new frame for it, Andy. That's pretty cool. Okay, so here's what we're doing now. What I need to do is start the masking for the paint scheme. Let me get these out of here first of all. Okay. So, this set of lettering is what we're using on the long hood. And the rest of the long hood, other than where the lettering resides, is going to have a cigar band down the middle of it. So what my plan is right now is to get all of the masking done to do the banding first. That's the first color of paint I'm going to put on, and then I'm going to come in with a little bit of the Tamiya 3mm tape off exactly where I want the banding to be, and then go over the top of it with the darker green. So you can see I've got my colors here. This is going to be interesting because I am actually forced to use true color paint for these, unfortunately, because the only scale coat color I could find for this is the Scale Coat Erie Gray, which is what the banding is going to be. So the only thing I can actually use Scale Coat for is the banding, and the other two colors of paint have to be the true color paint, unfortunately. So we're going to do the banding first, just so that, you know, that's out of the way. It's the smallest and simplest thing. It's the easiest thing to mask off and then go in with the more detailed color. The other thing I do need to do, though, is separate the sill from the rest of the locomotive here, gently, because the sill is a completely different process. And I'm not sure. Looks like it just wants to slide right up, thankfully. Whoa, hey. Beautiful. Okay, so let's put the sill away. Just need to... I really didn't want to cut this out of the sheet just yet, but I'm gonna, just so that I can figure out where things need to go. in my infinite wisdom, I've come up with such a long name here that I'm actually semi-concerned about how it's going to look on the long hood of such a short locomotive. Yeah, Tim, they kind of are. To be fair, I did know you when I came up with mine, because I came up with mine like a month ago. But I don't think I had seen your scheme before. Oh. Got a little water on part of it. Yeah, I don't think I had seen your scheme before I came up with mine. If that makes sense. Okay, so let's see how this is going to fit on here. Oh, it's not. Cool. Oh, boy. What do we do now? Well, it'll fit on this side. It's just the other side's funky with the... See, and this is the side I actually did the paint scheme design for. Huh. What do I do here? Will just the Genesee fit up here, I wonder? Not that that's going to look good, but... Oh, shoot. I don't know. Okay, well, I think I want it to be just about there. I think what I'm going to do is just cut right down between the E and the S and stick the gene up there. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, at this point, I got to try something. Hey, Matt. Welcome into the stream, my friend. Oh, I'm missing. No, well, it's supposed to be just like the New York Central branding where it's all one line, Dennis. So I had hoped to kind of keep it on the same line, which I think this is going to look okay. I hope it's going to look okay. Yeah. I think it's going to be all right. I mean, you're going to be able to see that it's on two different levels, but I think once it's actually on the painted locomotive, especially because it's going to be such a dark background, I don't think that you'll be able to notice it too much. Or at least that's what I'm going to try to bank on. Okay, so that at least does give me an idea of where I want to mask. So I'm going to try to kind of mark that out as best I can. So pretty much there. And okay. And E. Just trying to kind of line up the corner of this piece of tape with where I want to start my mask so that the banding's not on it. I do also, though, just need to verify that I'm going to hit the cab in the right spot, too. I think I technically want the lettering just a little bit lower. So I think the band kind of goes through the window of the cab a little bit. Thanks for updating Matt there, Dennis. It's certainly been a traditional stream where we just kind of bounce back and forth to a bajillion different projects. Okay, that's pretty much where I want that height-wise. And then, see, I don't love that this is going to be over top of all these hinges, though. So, maybe I do. Interesting dilemmas here. So I want the banding to go all the way out onto the nose, which means it needs to be somewhat low, but if I do it this low, my decal is going to be over top of all of these little hinges for all the doors, which I can deal with, but I don't love it. Maybe I should look at some reference photos of an actual cigar band GP30 to understand how New York Central did this. Oh, that's right. I'm remembering now that they actually didn't put them in full cigar band. And this is, I mean, the idea was that I'm doing a scheme reminiscent of the E8s. So I'm not necessarily trying to replicate the non-cigar band GP30 freight scheme. I'm really trying to replicate the E8 scheme. Oh, interesting. Maybe that's how I get away with this. The jade green ones, the banding cut off on the nose. I was trying to replicate kind of the gray scheme where it went all the way around. But maybe my way to get around this is to modify my scheme so that it just kind of cuts off on the nose rather than going all the way along the long hood. And then I don't have to do any masking on the long hood itself anyway. Decisions. Interesting. I don't know. What do you guys think? Welcome back, Jeff. Full New York, Ontario, and Western spec. No, I don't think so. I'm not sure. Really not sure. I think I really have to just do the banding on the nose is really what it's going to come down to. I don't think I really have much of a choice. Because I can't put this over top of the hinges. It's just going to be a nightmare. Yeah, yep, always a healthy decision to walk away when things get frustrating. That's for sure, Jeff. Totally agree. Had I done that, the first project we worked on tonight might not be as rough a shape as it's in. Usually I know better. I was a little annoyed about blowing the decoder when I went to go clean the trucks, and was a little bit rough on the trucks when I was trying to disassemble them. So here's the other thing now. I do still need to mask the nose, and I need one of these small logos to make sure that I'm matching up where the masking goes. So let me grab one of these off the decal sheet before I put it away. And then I'll put it away so that I don't get it all damaged or lose anything. Honestly, we've only lost one thing tonight, so that's a pretty solid stream, I'd say. I'd argue. Alright, put those back in the bin for the GP30. Alright, let's get an idea of how we want to do this. I think the nose, yep, pops right off, so I don't even have to worry about masking any of this now, which is really nice. Very excited about that. And let's get an idea of how we're going to want to put this on the nose. I think pretty much right about there. So we can run the banding. The banding's basically going to be, let's see, I'll see if I can show it to you guys. It's supposed to be just a little bit bigger than, oh, I'm not even in frame, I'm sorry. So the banding's going to be just a little bit bigger than the logo itself. Actually, I'll show you on the big logo so that it's easier to see. So the banding is supposed to be just slightly larger than the logo itself, as you can kind of see here. So what I'm trying to work on now at a smaller scale, as you can see, is you know, trying to work out where I need to mask here to get this nice thin line going. And I think right about there is kind of where I'm happy with. Just kind of above the, I think if I use the holes for the grab irons as my kind of reference points, that's going to work out well. So let's try it. The op sessions were good, Matt. Really, really enjoyed them. So I'm literally just going to mask right over the holes, because that'll help me just kind of verify that I'm going on a straight line. Now, I do want to get as fine-tuned as possible with this, so I'm going to get the calipers out and just make sure that everything kind of looks even as I'm going through here. Nose to the tape measurement. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Which side am I using here? Okay, we're at 8.4 millimeters there. Okay, so this side is a little high, so I gotta adjust it. Let's see. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, let's see if we can keep the trend going all the way across now. Oh, I didn't make the tape piece long enough. Whoops. Oh well. Okay, let's see. 8.4. Oh, got a little low again. For those of you who are interested, of course, Dennis is streaming after me tonight at 9:30 on Scale Train Boy, so be sure to tune in to him tonight. We're kind of winding down here. I'd like to get this pretty much finished, or at least ready to paint, is what I mean. You could tell that was not right there. That's pretty good. It's a little, that's good there too. Okay, so let me just finish taping off the bottom here. Interesting. All right, let's see. I think we're good there. Yep, all the way across. Okay, so that's good. Now, I just need to make sure I have a good understanding of how tall this little band is on the decal so that I can make the masking line just slightly larger than that. So it's 2 millimeters. Well, it's 2 millimeters is going to be just about how large I want the banding to end up being. So likely what I'm going to do here, just so that I have wiggle room when I go to mask the primary coat, is I'm going to do this banding at 3 millimeter, and then when I mask, I'll take some 2 millimeter masking tape, put it over top of the band, and that's kind of how I'll work it in. Let's see how we look in there. That's about at 2 millimeters, so I want to go a little higher. And again, this part, like I said, does not need to be perfect, just because we are going to come back in later and do the primary coat. This is just the, finessed little area of the custom paint job. It takes a little bit of prep work. It's a lighter color, so we're doing it first and then masking it off to do the darker colors. Okay, let's see how this is looking. It looks pretty consistently thick the whole way through. Question though is I'm still at 2 millimeters and I want it to be a little bit thicker than 2 millimeters all the way through, which it pretty much is except for right on the nose. So let me try to Give myself just a little bit more to work with here. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Okay. I think I'm happy with that. Let's see. Good there. Good all the way through there. Good there. Kind of pinches down at the end, but like I said, this is really just the initial masking layer, and then you got the rest to worry about later. There we go. Okay, so that's going to be good to paint, and perfect timing too. So awesome. the masking, yeah. This is the most challenging custom paint I will have ever taken on, which is intentional. I really wanted to challenge myself to be a better custom painter, which is why I came up with a somewhat complex paint scheme for these freelance units. I really wanted to push myself, so that's what we're doing for sure. We've had to make some compromises already, unfortunately, just due to the design of the GP30, but it's okay. But yeah, like I said, everybody go check out Dennis's stream at 9:30. He'll be here before you know it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I don't think I'm gonna have time to put out a video this week, unfortunately, but I will try my best to have one ready for next week, and I will try my best to be live streaming again next Monday as well. Take care, everybody. We'll see you in the next one.